Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for those of you that are new here, my name is Kadeem. I know I haven't uploaded in a while. I just haven't really had the motivation to film because I don't know, I've just been so unmotivated this year and it's really stressing me out because I was like, 2020 is going to be the year I'm actually going to try and upload at least once a week, hopefully twice a week. But yeah, that hasn't happened. I think it's my first video I've uploaded since middle of December, and this video is going to be completely different. If you hadn't guessed by the title already, I'm not going to be doing any makeup in today's video. It's just going to be me sitting and talking. It's a video I thought about filming for a while now, and as well, I actually planned to film today, and then I realised on Facebook, I'm going to try and get it uploaded today as well, because I went on Facebook, and apparently today is Blue Monday, and I'd actually never heard of it before, but apparently it means it is the most depressing day of the year. So that was quite weird, the fact that I actually planned to film it today, not knowing what today was. But yeah, so for today's video, I'm going to be talking about mental health awareness and just end the stigma of mental health. This is a very big topic for me because being someone that has suffered from mental health in the past, and I still do suffer, I just felt like I want to get this video out there just to show people that we need to end the stigma on how people think and treat mental health. I am going to put a trigger warning because I am talking about mental health and self-harm, so those of you that may find this a bit intense, it might not be a video you want to watch. We'll talk about a little backstory of my mental health and go more into it in depth as the video progresses. But when I was 16, so it was back in 2014, I was studying my GCSEs and I was diagnosed with depression, and it was one of the hardest times of my life. I was extremely low, and it was during my GCSEs as well, so it was a very critical time of my life as well. So I never thought I'd show it on the camera, but I used to self-harm on a daily basis. It was a lot, and then that knocked my confidence as well. I would not leave my house wearing a t-shirt. I would always have a jumper, always have a jacket. Like, I'd always make sure I was covered up just because I was so scared of people seeing my arms. Yeah, my arms I used to cut every day, and that was like, it was almost like a routine. It became like an addiction, and it was incredibly hard to stop. And then it got to the point that I ended up taking an overdose and ended up in hospital. That was one of the darkest points of my entire life, and I felt like I had no one to talk to. And I felt like all my friends wouldn't understand or didn't care, and that I was a burden. I want to put that out there. The one thing I hate is when people say suicide is selfish, because it is not. It is one of the hardest decisions to ever even come to. Like, think about it is one thing, but actually trying to carry out the act is one of the most brave decisions I think anyone could ever make. It takes a lot of courage to actually get to that point of trying. That was 6 years ago now, and I would say I am a lot better. I mean, I still think about it every now and again. I mean, it's hard not to. I think once you've actually got to that point, it's very hard to be the same again. But I just want to say that recovery isn't just a quick process, and once you get there, you're fully recovered. Recovery is something that happens every day for the rest of your life. And I think if I knew that in like back when I was most depressed, it would have really changed my outlook, because I thought, when I was trying to get the help after that happened, I was like waiting on this end goal to be perfectly normal again, and I don't think anyone can ever go back to being normal after trying to take their own life, because it does really affect you. And there's like, I still have days where I'm down and I have felt like it again, but I've never got to the point of trying again after that one time. The reason I'm doing this is because, especially with social media now, and there's like obviously influencers and like bloggers and that, and we only let you see into our life what we want to see. So we can make out that our life is completely perfect when it really isn't. And that's what people didn't realise, that like, especially like younger generations now, so like people that are in secondary school, they are growing up with this generation of YouTube and Instagram influencers, and this is what they imagine their life has to be like, and if it's not, then it makes them feel down. And I just want to say that no, what appears online is only like 5% of our lives, and people just need to realise that not everything you see online is the truth. Even me, myself, I only put up what I'm comfortable putting up, and you'll only ever see me really document the high points of my life, the bits I'm enjoying, and I it's rare that you'd see anyone post anything negative that's going on in their life at the time, because they try and keep, uphold this image online of what their life is. And that's the thing, everyone nowadays is too busy planning their social media life to make it look like it's almost like a false image or like a false persona that everyone has online. My online persona and my in-life persona is completely different. I mean, like, on camera, people say I'm really confident and outgoing. And I admit, yeah, I can be in person, but a lot of that is very fake it till you make it, because I'm very unconfident. And it's something I think everyone should know, that don't always believe what you see. There's always something going on. So a little rundown of my life, because when I had counselling, they tried to pinpoint it on like what it was that was causing it. And I don't think I can pinpoint it to one specific thing as the cause of my depression. There's a lot of contributing factors that happened throughout my entire life. And again, like, I think people almost brush it under the carpet, and especially a lot of the childhood, people kind of ignore it and just be like, oh no, I'm over it, but then deep down it still does affect you. So when I was 2 weeks old, my dad walked out and left my mum. So growing up, I never really had a dad. So like, even though I think like, I'm like, no, I don't really care. Obviously, that has affected me a lot. And when I was 15, that's when he got into contact with me for the very first time. And this was kind of when I started to get, I was like depressed beforehand, and then this happened, and it really, really affected me mentally. And I tried to explain everything to him, and he was so unsupportive and unsympathetic with the entire situation, and made it all about himself. And he was just like, his words were, I can't deal with this right now, I will maybe contact you again when you're 18. And I was just like, no, if you're not going to bother now, then there's no point. But again, like, being rejected once by a parent is bad enough, but the fact that he like rejected me twice definitely had a huge contributing factor as to what pushed me towards me trying to take my own life. And another thing about my old stepdad was very abusive, mentally and physically. And again, that was from a very young age. So that was from the years, I think, 2001 to 2007. So I would have been like from ages like from 3 to like 10, basically. Was a very, very hard point in my life, because at that age you're really growing, and that's when it's the most important like period of your life, is when it shapes you into the person you're going to be when you're older. So like, having to suffer mental and physical abuse almost on a daily for the most ridiculous things, it was really hard and did really affect me. I'm not glad it happened, but it's definitely shaped me into the person I am, and the fact that I am such a fighter and I'll always stand my ground, and I will not let anyone walk over me, because of my experiences being a kid, of having a dominant, like, possessive figure in my life that was abusive. And I think it can go either one way or the other for some people. Some people kind of get really quiet and recluse, and they lose all their confidence. And then you get the other hand, where the people that actually are able to fight and stand their ground. And I'm not saying that either way is the right way, because everyone has their own way of dealing with things, but just so people know that it's not the be all and end all of surviving abuse. You will get past it, and you one day will get to a point of being able to fight back. I just want you to know that, like, your abuse doesn't define who you are, and your experiences does not define who you are. And just know that, like, it's as cliche as it sounds, things do get better, but you have to put in the work. The energy you put out to the universe comes back. So if you are in a negative mindset, it's gonna really affect what is happening in your life. And it's was really, really hard to change that mindset. And it took me a while. I was angry at the world. I was angry at anyone. I didn't trust men. I still struggle around like older authoritative men because of this experience, but I'm not letting my abuser define who I was. So again, that was like another big factor. And then I think as well that my family were very against gay people, and it had always been put into my head that it's wrong to be gay. So I think as well, when I kind of got to the age when I discovered that I was, that again had a really big effect on my life. And when I came out, I was 15, and that was probably one of the biggest fears I had. And I think even though my family took it really well and they've all been supportive, I think that whole build up of my fear manifested into my anxiety as well, which made my depression worse than what it was. And even though my family were all supportive, in my mind it was still like, what if they're just saying it because I'm their son or their brother? A lot of stuff played on my mind, and it's like, again, you don't want to talk to friends about it because you don't want to feel like you're a burden on them. That's what my impact was anyway. I didn't want to go to my friends with my issues because they were mine, and I didn't want to make my friends feel like they had to like be there and do stuff, because it was like I didn't want to bring them down from how my mood was. So that was like, again, everything was bottled up. I didn't talk to anyone, and that's what led to my attempt in school. See, after that, it was all out in the open, and I definitely had people that were a lot more supportive, and I was like actually able to speak to people more, but it still was like niggling away, like, oh, maybe they're only doing it because they feel guilty and stuff like that. And it was kind of just piling up and up, and then I kind of got the help, and I finished school, and I tried sixth form, and that didn't work out, and I started working, and I think that is what really kind of boosted me up a lot, because it was just like completely different environment. I was more thrown right into the adult world, whereas when I was 16, where all my friends were at college or at sixth form, I was working, so I was kind of having to like mature a lot, and I think that really helped. I think if I stayed in education at that time, I probably would have actually got back to that point of trying it again, and potentially I could have succeeded with that. When I think about it, at times it does kind of quite scare me because of how different my life could have gone. As I got older, it kind of just went, not went, but like obviously I worked on myself. I done a lot of meditation actually really helped. I used to do a lot of meditation from the ages of like 17 to like 21. I was like fine, just living. I was happy, I was content. There was nothing really big that happened. And then when me and my ex split up, that affected me a lot. Like now, like we are on speaking terms and we are good friends, and I'm glad we managed to get to this point. But when we first split up, I took it really hard, and it brought back all my feelings and emotions of back when I was in school. And again, then I was very close to potentially trying again to end my own life. But I think where I had that experience before, I knew I needed to talk to someone, and one of my like closest friends had just moved back from Plymouth that day, and I think without him, he was kind of like my rock that actually grounded me, and I bounced off his like positive energy, and it really helped me get through. And one of my friends from school who moved to New Zealand had flew back that week as well, so I was with her like every day, and it was kind of a distraction. And I think as well, like because my friends knew what was going on and knew how I'd felt previously, it definitely helped a lot, because they knew what sort of emotions I was feeling, and it definitely was more welcoming and comfortable to be able to talk to them, because they knew what I'd been through before, so I knew they wouldn't feel like me being a burden, which really helped. And now I've got over it. It's been about 5 months now, and I'm definitely a lot happier myself, and I'm a lot more confident, and like those feelings have gone away. The main reason I'm making this video is because I want to end the stigma, because especially with men, it's like society teach men that to man up, but boys don't cry, and it's ingrained in you from being a little kid that, oh, boys don't cry, oh, toughen up, like if you hurt yourself or anything like that, like. And men are taught to not show emotion, and this is why suicide is the biggest killer for men under the age of 45. To any of my followers and viewers, like, I'm always there if anyone needs to talk. So like, if you have me on Facebook, you can message me on Facebook. If you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you can message me on there. So you can message me on YouTube. I don't really check my YouTube messages as much. It's because I'm more active on Instagram. It's probably the best place to contact me. I also say, like, especially men, don't listen to people that tell you that men shouldn't talk about their problems, or men shouldn't show emotion, or men shouldn't cry, because I think crying is probably one of the best ways to let stuff out. When I cry, it is quite rare, again, because it's been ingrained into my head that men don't cry. But when I do, I imagine that, it sounds weird, but it's a method that works for me, is I imagine that like my tears are all the negative thoughts leaving, and it definitely, even if it's probably a placebo effect, it is something that works for me, and it may not work for everyone. And it's one thing as well, like depression and mental health, it isn't a one size fits all. There's so many different variations and so many different causes of how depression works. So some people may have counselling to get through, some people may have medication, I personally had counselling, and that's what helped me. That's because mine was more childhood trauma rather than just a chemical imbalance that some people do just get. Your GP is probably the best port of call to go to, and they will find the right help that you do need. But other than that, talking is one of the most important things. I feel like I probably may have waffled a lot and kind of repeated myself because I didn't really know the direction of what this video was going to take. I just knew I wanted to talk about mental health and let people know that they are not alone. There's many people out there to support you. There's so many different charities and helplines that you can ring. Throw down like the Samaritans, and like what I will do is I will list down a bunch of different charities in the description box of places that you can and go and get help. It's because life, even though it might not feel like it now, it definitely is worth living. So the main reason I started on YouTube and Instagram is to use a platform for good. So like one of my biggest reasons was because when I was starting out in makeup and watching YouTube videos, there was never anyone who looked like me doing videos, and that's why I started. And I want to use my following. Obviously, I know I've not got the biggest following now, but obviously, if it, when it gets bigger, and even if without being bigger, even if just one person benefits from a video that I do or what I use my platform for, then my goal is achieved. So like today, from this video, even if one person is feeling down and from this video it enables them to be able to talk to someone about it, then I've achieved what I wanted to. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video or it helped you at all, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. And if you aren't already, please subscribe, just to kind of help me grow as a channel. And again, if you know someone that is suffering, reach out to them. Maybe sometimes they're too scared to reach out to you. So message your friends and check on your friends to make sure they're okay. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.